So, are we good to go on Vel's End? Perfect. As the companions, we'll say for now, acquaintances more than anything else, who have managed to escape from the last bastion through a secret underground stair. As all of you continue to descend down and down, the sound of roars and screams fading into the distance far above. Ervin,
Yes.
cannot help but be reminded of a time not that long ago, in a different mountain range, further south, among the ruins of a nearly extinct civilization. Your life there was a simple one. You spent many days on your own, thinking only of your next meal, how to keep warm, how to keep your shelter intact. But then the dreams began. Gray and blue figures, tall, extraordinarily tall, and you feel a kinship with them. Those that died long ago in a pointless war. Those that were betrayed and murdered by their cousins. These figures, these giants of frost, you see or saw in your nightly in dreams for some time, and eventually they began to change. At first, you witnessed great heroics, but then there was fear as things changed. And in the last dream that you had, the one that bid you leave your home and travel, and led you eventually to the terrifying events above you. You saw those blue and gray figures, the giants of old, standing against far larger creatures. Creatures of many colors. A white, a black, a blue, a green, a red. Creatures as old as the world coming together to bring back something far older. The dreams showed you a route to take. Visions of the last bastion came to your mind. And you set forth. Perhaps you do not fully understand these dreams yet, but something that you have seen this day was in those dreams. and is now far above. Eliciting terrible, icy vengeance on the poor souls unlucky enough to not find this route under the mountain. All of you descend these stairs. It is dark, but for the light you have provided, the stairs are rough and not worn. They clearly have not been used for but a handful of times. The ceiling is low, so low that you almost, especially Mill and Silvery, those that stand a bit taller than the others, definitely feel cramped in this space. Mill, you more than likely have to, especially with your antlers, have to stoop a bit. It is not a comfortable way down. And yet the and yet the stairs continue their descent. Pfeifferon bringing up the rear, about 10 or so minutes into this journey, you all become acutely aware of his shining silver replacement arm vanishing as the magic he needed to keep it up is lost after this amount of time. And when that extra light goes away behind you, it is jarring. You descend for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour. One direction, no turns, just a steady descent of steps. And it looks like it's going to continue that way for some time. I believe Alexander was in the lead.
Yeah, probably. Quick question.
Yes.
The dream, was I just basically remembering it, or did I have like vision while we
you were that was like a flashback as you guys were descending in here,
Okay.
just kind of a remembering those dreams that bid you come to this place, because
Gotcha.
now, having seen the white dragon far above, you are convinced you have seen one of the beings that was in that dream.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right.
Pfeifferon is continuing to he keeps up, definitely. The loss of blood is clearly starting to affect him a bit. His breathing is haggard. And as is the rest of you, several of you have been very close to death in the last couple of hours. But the stairs continue downward. No visible end to their descent. What are you all doing?
Going down the fucking stairs.
You be walking down them stairs.
Limping down the stairs.
Why don't you, as we're walking down the stairs, we'll just rub his hands on the side of the wall really ominously as we go down.
How do you ominously rub your hands?
As he's just walking down, it's just like feeling it Just like it's like a hard rub. Like he's pushing back.
What sort of gnome are you, Anchu? A forest gnome? A rock
Mhm.
gnome? A
Forest gnome.
You descend, pressing your small hand into the wall. It is rough hewn down here, as if this passageway was built solely for function, not for any. This is nobody's like secret, like get a like go out to the brothel tunnel, like secret tunnel. This is something that was built a very long time ago, and in the hopes they would never have to use it. The stone is rough, and in fact, as you press your hand into it, it does cut your hands in several places. Nothing severe, but you do get just little scrapes and cuts on the palms and your fingers. But you all continue to descend. Yes, Mill.
I will place a. I will look back at Ervin and it's better if you pick up your feet, and I will cast a cure wounds. Or healing word. So 2d4 what plus 4 on Ervin.
To Ervin.
I was at 18 points, by the way. I think somebody already healed me last session.
Well, you're limping.
Well, okay. Okay, how many is it? Oh, well, like, I'm
7.
guessing. Perfect.
There you go.
Thank you.
As all of you descend further and further, it takes another, I would say, 20 minutes before finally the stairs seem to come to an end. Although it is not the end of the passage, you're no longer descending, but there is a only slightly wider passageway that seems to go straight out ahead of you. For, beyond whatever light sources you all have brought with you. But the descent has stopped. There don't seem to be any branching passageways at the moment. But coming to the end of the stairs, it is very obvious after only a few, maybe 10 or so feet forward, that you're now in what would be considered a true tunnel. This is no longer something that has been carved or built. This is something that was here, that was built to. Eventually, you stumble into a small grotto of sorts. There are a couple of different routes out of here. Some are small tunnels that the majority of you would not be able to fit through, although Anshu definitely could. But there are at least 2 regular sized passageways out. But you're in about a 30 by 30 foot like grotto area. There's like these glowing mushrooms in portions of the wall. It's surprisingly damp. There is a drip of condensation coming down here in part of the room. Moss. But yeah, it is a place that you can spread out a little bit and finally catch a breather. Pfeifferon finds himself slumped against the wall, just kind of breathing as all of you arrive in this space.
I will step to the side and make a small fire.
Okay. Go ahead and make a survival check for me.
I've got a really good addition to that. 20.
20. Yeah, not difficult.
What a fire.
You
Tarnished 20, not an actual natural 20.
not a lot down here in the way of fuel for a fire,
Right.
but you do manage to kind of get a few things that you had in your pack together, and you pull out a tinderbox and get things lit and going. The light and the warmth is welcome, for it is very cold down here.
Erwin kind of checks in with Sylvie, which I would be role playing with if Blake was here. And after that, she kind of sits by the fire with Mill, kind of, how do you call it? Asian squat and kind of crossed between her, around her knees when picks up a stick, kind of poking at the fire, and she goes, "You've known Sylvie for a while?"
Mill side-eyes her for a moment. I know not who she is, and I know why I do not know why she knows who I am. Or who she might think I am.
She said she was one of your friends that she's waiting for.
She must have me confused.
Well, I think she's got a good friend. And
You don't get out very much, do you?
What'd you say?
You don't get out very much, do you?
I mean, I've lived in the mountains for so long with, and you kind of see that her expression kind of saddens for a little bit, and becomes more, jumps back right up as she says, with my mother. But then I found Sylvie.
I didn't ask for your whole story.
Mill, could you make for me? You can make an insight check or a nature check. Or no, I'm sorry, insight or history.
I will do insight. Oh no, it's gone. It's on the other side of you, baby.
Oh, correction, by the way. So Erwin's standing at 7'1".
Ah. Well, there
That's
you
like
go.
the smallest as a Goliath I can go.
Yeah.
Apparently.
14.
You, Mill, kind of snipe back with your I didn't ask for your life story, but you sit there and eyeing Ervin. You know, you have in your heritage, the Fearbulk heritage, you have giant blood somewhere. And you look upon another of giant descent, though not full giant, and looking at the color of the skin and the eyes and the hair, you are acutely aware of who this person is descended from.
Is it storm giants?
No, it is not. It is Frost Giant.
Hmm.
Which, again, you are more than aware of the history of the Frost Giants and what happened to them long ago.
One of your kind should be under lock and key to make sure you're safe. And I will turn to Pfeifferon and I will heal him.
Kind of cocks her head to the side, confused.
I'm going to use a cure wounds because he looks pretty rough.
He does look pretty rough.
And that's 2d8 plus 4. Oh, fuck, I'm dropping everything.
Just drop in. I don't know where.
All the fucking dice. Every single die. Oh, hey, that's really good though. 18.
18. You see, your magic extends out. Go ahead and describe your cure wounds.
So Mill walks, like, kind of hobbles over to, because of how low the ceiling is, has one hand braced against it, and leans, or kneels down beside Pfeifferon, and, places a black-touched hand to his, wounded shoulder, and from his fingertips, like, mycelium grows from it and wraps around the open wound of his shoulder, almost like a bandage, and it's almost pulsating.
Okay. Yeah. And as you cast this magic forward, you see the wound that had been hastily cauterized a little while ago. The scarring and the scabbing from that immediately begins to heal itself, getting towards being more of a proper stump of an arm rather than something that could easily tear open and continue draining his blood. You see, he nods appreciatively and he says, "Thank you. Kindly appreciate."
This way you won't leave a trail of blood wherever we go.
Yeah, not a bad idea. Although, they can try to find the door that leads to this stairwell, but they're gonna be looking for a while. So,
You'd be surprised once we get out of this hole how far the smell of blood goes.
well, that may be true, but right now, I'm not really worried about what's up top. I'm worried about what's down here.
If we mind our own, hopefully nothing will bother us.
Yeah, that's a good way of thinking, for sure.
I will brace my back up against the wall and close my eyes, tilting my head back against it. We best rest while we have the second.
Yeah. You have a space here where you could rest if you wish to. Does anybody have anything they want to do in this space? Okay. How are you? I mean, you guys are more than welcome to take a long rest here.
That as well.
Yeah,
I need to. I have no spells. No.
for sure.
I mean, I have actually. I don't. No, I have no spells.
Okay. Yeah. You
Short
guys are
short rest or long rest?
whatever you guys wish to do.
We could probably get through with a long rest. I don't think
Short.
anything's gonna be coming
Well,
towards us down here.
I just. Hmm.
I mean,
I'm.
there's-
Yeah, I guess I'll try to take a nap, and I'll tell Wretch to keep watch.
Tell Wretch to keep watch. Okay. Guys can find whatever piece of moss you wish to lay your head against here in this cavern. Truly, all of you are, if not under the mechanical condition of exhaustion, are certainly feeling exhausted. You are have been through a lot. One of you was in a cage for several days leading up to this. Didn't have a lot of time to stretch. Two of you journeyed to this place today, which was a tiring experience in and of itself. It's definitely a rest that feels earned. And Jacob, I'm going to have you roll for me a perception check for Wretch, as Wretch is the only one keeping watch.
10.
10. Understood.
She does have dark vision, though. I don't know how much that counts for, but
It didn't give you disadvantage on the roll.
that's, yeah, okay, fair enough.
You sleep. All of you find yourselves to rest. Couple hours go by. All is well. A few more. I'd like everybody to make a perception check with disadvantage.
Oh. That's a 1.
That's a nat 1.
That's a 1.
that's a 14.
That is also a 14.
Understood.
15.
15 for Mr. Alexander. And interestingly enough, Alexander, you are the only one that gets a sense of anything. Not because your ears pick something up in your sleep, not because you smell an odor, but because of the sharp pull on your consciousness as you feel the connection with Wretch strain. You hear and bolt upright, looking around. The fire is smoldering. Your companions lay asleep. Wretch is not by your side.
Can I listen out to see if I can still hear activity?
Yes. Go ahead and you can make another perception check. This one will not be at disadvantage, but the DC is pretty high.
18.
18. You listen. No sounds.
Can I tell if that connection is severed or if she is just
I
or if that
wouldn't
was just
say
a
it.
tug?
I wouldn't say it's severed. It's definitely far enough that you couldn't command her. She is not close enough to hear you or see you. She's gone.
Okay. Placing a hand gently on the wall. I'm going to try to creep towards the direction we were heading, not the direction we
Mhm.
came from.
Okay. Yeah, you slowly creep along, your companions drifting, or your companions continuing to sleep. You approach. There are two pathways out of this room that are big enough for all of you to traverse. There are a couple of smaller tunnels that lead out of here. Uh, which of the two ways out that aren't the way you came in are you going to check out? There's one of them that seems to like it goes down a bit more, though not with a staircase, and then there's another one that like has a sharp right turn, not super far ahead, but it remains on kind of the same level as this grotto.
Do either of the passageways have a breeze coming from them?
Interesting. Make a survival check.
14.
14. Neither of them have a breeze per se, but looking around in the space, you do see with a 14 a set of small clawed footprints leading towards the passageway that seems to go down.
I know I won't have the light to be able to follow those, but I will take that cue and follow the passageway down.
Okay. You head down the passageway. How are you proceeding? Are you
Sneakily.
sneakily? Go ahead and roll that check for me.
16.
16. Let me roll here. Yeah. You quietly slink down this hallway, listening for any bit of evidence of your companion, your friend, Wretch. And after maybe 2 or 3 minutes, you think you hear something ahead. A muffled sound.
Going to creep further down towards that sound.
You come to a portion of the tunnel that kind of has a slight bend to it. You're able to peek out in front of you. And ahead, in the gloom, you see, barely lit by the strange glowing mushrooms that are kind of random and sporadic in the walls here, you see a hulking figure, 6 to 6.5 feet tall, but bulbous. You just see it from the back, and you see it kind of stepping forward slowly. Oddly, it makes hardly any noise while it walks. But you see, strung to its back in some sort of bag, in very tightly bound, a small moving thing. And that is where the source of the noise is coming from. You hear that.
Okay. Uh, the bag strapped to its back, is it how securely is it strapped?
From where you're at, looking ahead of you, I'd say this thing is probably 25 to 30 feet away, and it is rather dark. It looks like it's like a shoulder slung bag, so like it's over this thing's shoulder and then under the armpit on the other side. So it's like secured that way.
Okay, I am gonna pull out a small knife
Hmm.
from my boot, and I am going to try to creep forward and go cut the bag open.
Okay. You sneak forward, approaching quietly and quickly. Go ahead and for this, I'm going to say make me a sleight of hand check with your dagger.
Uh, 18.
18. Are you attempting to cut the bag open or cut the strap so that you can take it?
Cut the bag open.
Cut the bag open. With an 18, you manage that as you rip this open and a small figure tumbles out of it, immediately alerting the creature as this small drake tumbles down its back, landing in the dirt or on the rock here in the tunnel. But you hear as Wretch shakes herself off, but you see remnants of this bag sticking to her. And now that you're closer and you see it, and you see some of it has remained on your knife, it's webbing. Very sticky, strange webbing as this hulking creature turns its bulbous body, and you see it has two long arms with two claws on the end of it. It's kind of hunched a bit, and it has like a protruding pot belly almost. The head, though, is what you see as illuminated in these mushrooms. As it turns and looks, you see where there should be, where you're kind of expecting a face, you see spider-like mandibles and 8 sets of black eyes around it as it turns and looks, clacking its mandibles together. Alexander, I need you to roll initiative.
14.
14. Ooh. That dice might go in jail. Yeah. The creature in front of you just kind of like looks and makes this noise, and it cocks its head. It's staring right at you, but you have the upper hand and you were ready. You get to go first on this.
How close am I to the creature?
You got
Like, I was right
close.
up on it, so
Yeah, you were
yeah.
right up on it. You're within about 5 feet of it.
Okay, I'm gonna scoop up Wretch, and then I'm gonna disengage and run.
Disengage and run. Absolutely. Using your action to disengage, you take off back the way you came. You hear this creature make another one of those sounds as you run. You're going to use your turn to run. Understood. Um, as you run away, you hear barely, but you hear kind of this soft clacking against the ground as it scuttles after you. I need. Actually, no, I just rolled a hit for this. That's a natural 20 plus 4.
Those still
As
hit. Yeah.
you feel something slam into your like behind your knees, and you continue to try to run forward, but you can't lift your leg, and you look down and your legs have been webbed to the ground as this thing continues to run up on you. You are considered restrained. Let's see. You are considered restrained, but this creature, on to finish out its turn, can just run up on you. It can't do anything else. I will tell you now. You can attempt to use an action to escape from this. You can also attack the webbing if you would rather do it. If you try to escape, it's going to be a strength check. But this webbing isn't, you easily cut through it with a knife, at least the bag that it had on its back, so you know it can be cut through.
All right. I'm gonna tell Wretch to hang on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna like kind of stuff him to the side, underneath, on like the right side of my cloak.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I'm gonna let go of them. I let go of her. I'm gonna grab my sword. I'm going to use a bonus action to cast Zephyr Strike.
Mm.
So that's my bonus action. I'll use my action to attack. I get advantage with it.
You
The
do
webbing.
it, which makes it it makes it a straight roll.
Okay. Does a 12 hit the webbing?
A 12 does hit the webbing.
Um, 12 points of damage for the webbing.
Easily, you slice through the webbing and free your legs.
All right. Fantastic. And because of Zephyr Strike, I have an additional 30 feet to my move speed. And I don't provoke opportunity attacks.
There you go.
So I will then sprint. Let's see, that would be 120 feet forward with my action. Oh no, I already used my action, so just 60 feet forward.
60 feet forward. Yeah, you take off again, keep running away. At the end of your turn, the creature is going to try once again to web you up. That I don't believe is going to hit, though. 16?
16 misses.
16 misses. You hear the slap of more of this webbing as it just misses your head and splats into the wall on one side of you. But you continue to run ahead. You can see about 50 or so feet ahead of you the opening into the cavern where your companions are resting.
I just keep running, man.
You just keep running. Okay. Gonna have one more web attack come your way. That also misses. And within that next turn, you rush through into the grotto here, with Wretch under your arm.
Yeah, I most certainly do that. I nudge awake Anchu. And then I get down and I speak in Gnomish to Anchu. It's really like halting and like gargly. Spider something following. Spider kill.
And then Anshu will charge towards the bugs.
Charge towards the bug. Anchu, go ahead and join the initiative for me, will you?
Okay, that's a 6.
A 6? Okay.
Plus
Understood.
3 is a 9. Sorry.
You got it. At the top of this round, it is your go, Alexander. Just as this creature kind of like it's running, but it's a strange hobbling run as it comes into this space, its eyes still locked firmly on not you, on Wretch in your arms.
I will set Wretch down at my feet. And you said that the campfire was smoldering, right?
Yes.
He's gonna look. Alexander's gonna look over at that fire and put out his left hand and snap his finger at it, and I'm gonna cast Thaumaturgy and brighten what's left of the fire.
The fire, honestly, stokes itself back up. It's just a nice orange flame down here in this space. Go ahead, Mill and Ervin, and make me perception checks at disadvantage, please. Try to beat a 15.
That is a 21 either way.
That's a 14.
14. Mill, the screech of the creature coupled with the sudden bright flame, now bright again flame in the center of the room is enough to bring you to consciousness. We will get you into the initiative on the next round, if there is one.
Do I have any spells?
You have not yet completed an 8-hour rest.
You got a short rest though, probably.
You did get a short rest, though.
But
Pfeifferon does also wake up from his stupor, and just casual roll for Silvery. Silvery got a nat 1. So yeah, Silvery and Ervin continue to snooze at this moment.
Aaron's probably like, if Silvery's like leaned up against the wall, Aaron's just like leaned up against Silvery.
Yeah, totally. The two of you are just full asleep. You use your action to cast Thaumaturgy. There, Alexander. Anything else to do on your turn?
I will use my bonus action to command Wretch to attack.
Go for it. Go ahead and roll that attack.
Yeah, Wretch will fuck shit up. Probably. That's not a very high roll, though. These dice are being very mean. Makes me sad. 12?
A 12 does not hit.
Just nipping at this thing's heels. Just.
Yeah. Getting up there, trying to do some damage, and it's not so much that Wretch isn't effective. It's just this creature, despite being like slightly bulbous and have these gangly arms, is surprisingly dexterous as it manages to like use its arms and feet to kind of pull itself up towards the ceiling and just out of Wretch's reach. Is that the end of your turn, Alexander?
I will move to block the passageway that it used to leave.
Got it. Easy to do. At the end of your turn, it is the creature's turn. The creature is going to jump down onto Wretch. And you see as it like grips the claws on both of its hands together and pulls it out, a thin strand of sticky web extends between the claws as it goes down and attempts to wrap this webbing around Wretch's neck and pull tight. It's going to make an attack roll with advantage as it jumps down. Let's see. That's going to be... Does a 17 hit Wretch?
17 does hit Wretch.
Wretch is going to take 3 points of bludgeoning damage and is considered grappled. Until this grapple ends, Wretch cannot breathe, as this creature is garroting Wretch with webbing. That is going to be the end of the creature's turn, bringing us to Anshu.
Anshu will just charge this bug creature and will attempt to kind of wrap his arms around it and then rage.
You got it. So you would like to grapple first and then rage?
Well,
Actually-
not so much as a grapple as just like he's holding on to him to make sure whatever happens close to this creature.
Got it. For sure. Go ahead and roll for me a D100.
Please
Anshu
no
hit the
potted
rage
plant.
button, guys.
As I get some combat music going.
Okay. That
Hit
is
the
a
plant button.
53.
A
Close to what the plant was this
53.
time.
Let me tell you what you got there, bud.
What did I get? What am I winning?
You're gonna win
Slot noises.
a whole prize.
I'm fireball.
Sorcerer. You'd think I would learn to have this up when we start the session. You said you got a 53?
I did, in fact.
Can you roll 5d6 for me?
I can, in fact.
Does Anshu fireball?
Anshu does not fireball.
Oh, well. Opportunity to roll 5d6.
I'm sure it'll be cool.
Ooh. 4, 10, 13.
13? Anshu, no noticeable effect.
Huh.
But you are raging, and you still have an action.
Anshu will, stop and just, jump back really quickly and, look around. And then just take the sword and reckless attack.
Yeah, go for it. Roll to hit with advantage.
Okay. First one is a dirty 21.
Oh,
Second
yeah.
one is a 9. So, yeah, we're going to do that one.
Yeah, first attack hits.
Okay. Time to roll my greatsword damage.
Do you have extra attack? Oh, no. Do you already have extra attack?
Are we level 5? No.
No.
No, we're level 3.
We're level
Yeah, so
3.
you only had one attack anyway, but that's okay. That attack hits.
So I rolled a 12.
Okay.
12 damage. And then with my slasher feet, their movement is lowered by, I think,
Oh.
5 feet or 10 feet.
10 feet, I believe.
10
10
feet.
yeah. That's good to know.
Anshu will just swing in a big circle and just take one of the spider's legs out.
As you smash into it with the sword, leaving a big gash in this creature's leg, and a spurt of dark purple blood splatters over the ground here. Is that the end of Anshu's go?
Yes.
Okay. At the end of Anshu's turn, Mill, go ahead and roll initiative as you see the events that are happening, and this wacky creature is in here and is choking the life out of this small dragon.
14.
14. Okay.
Yes.
That's going to put you after the creature, but before Anshu. And we are going to roll. Oh, why did I roll with advantage for Fifron? I don't roll with advantage for the Fifron. Fifron got a nat 1. Fifron's gonna go at the end of the round. And Ervin, go ahead and make for me another perception check at disadvantage.
Okay.
This time just beat a 10.
Okay, that's a 19 and a 14.
Perfect. Yeah, you return. You wake up, Ervin, just at the same time as Silvery kind of starts awake as well. The two of you will get in on this initiative at the end of the round. But both of you kind of start awake and see this scene that is unfolding. At the top of the initiative, it's Alexander. Wretch is being choked.
Yeah, that's no bueno. I'd like to cut that string, and if I can do it in such a way that I perhaps also hit the creature, that'd be cool. But I'm totally only really focused on cutting that string.
For sure. I'm gonna say, just for the purposes of AC, you have to call your shot against the string. But yeah, you can definitely attack the string.
Can I do it in such a way that I flank with Anshu?
You are behind the creature because you're
I was blocking the doorway.
blocking the doorway. I would say it's definitely, like, based on that, just because the creature and string is at the front and you're behind, you can definitely have advantage stabbing the creature in the back. But in order to get to the string, you would have to kind of go to either side of it because it is a bulky creature.
Would I instead be able to do cool ranger shit and slide underneath it?
Cool ranger shit.
Yeah, go ahead and make for me an acrobatics check. Beat a 15 and you can do that.
Tumble. The tumble action, basically. Tumble bonus action.
17.
17? Yeah, absolutely. You run forward and slide under. If you want to attack the string at advantage, go for it.
Okay, I will do so. Ooh. No. Yeah, that's an 11.
An 11 hits the string. It is string. It is string.
Let's go. Let's go. 9 damage.
9 damage. Ping! The webbing snaps as your blade slices through it, and Wretch once again falls to the ground and now breathing heavily, sucking in air.
And I will use my bonus action to command her to hide.
You got it. She is going to kind of run away and try to just duck behind Pfeifferon. The creature is going to swing out at her, attempting an attack of opportunity. It is going to hit. Because a 21 definitely hits.
You know, certainly does. He has an AC of 16.
Wretch is going to take. Ooh, a lot. 10 points of piercing damage and 2 points of poison damage, unless she is immune to poison damage.
She's only immune to poison damage sometimes, so no.
Got it.
Still alive.
Still alive. I also need Wretch to make a Constitution saving throw.
That she can most certainly do. Oh. How does a 13 sound?
A 13 succeeds. You see Wretch kind of like stumble away and does run over and get behind Pfeifferon. And you see for just a moment she looks very woozy, like she's just about to slump over, but then she steels herself. She's not poisoned. Is that the end of your turn, Alexander?
Yeah, that is the end of my turn.
All right. You are now between Anshu and the creature. At the end of your turn, Alexander, it is the creature's turn, and it's not very happy. So it's going to make a couple of attacks at you. Oops. Again, not with advantage. Why am I rolling with advantage by default? I'm not. Roll 20.
I'm not roll 20. Exactly, Kyle. You're built differently.
The first thing this creature is going to do is it's going to attempt to get you with its claw. Does a dirt 20 hit? You are going to take 4 points of bludgeoning damage as it does a similar move to you and manages to pull some webbing around your neck, producing just more webbing from itself. You are now considered grappled, and you are being choked at the moment. And after it has you choked, it's going to then bite you. Does a 17 hit?
A 17 just hits, yeah.
17 just hits. That's going to be only 3 points of piercing damage and only 1 point of poison damage, but I do need you to make a con save as well.
Natural 20.
Natural 20, yeah. You feel that as the poison like surges into you, as this thing bites into your shoulder, you shrug it off. You've had worse poisons in your to deal with in your life. That is the end of the creature's turn, and that's going to bring us to Mill, who is still seated against the wall, but has now joined the combat.
Alrighty. I will... I am going to stand and very calmly and like brush the dirt off of my robes before placing a hand on the wall, and from it cockroaches begin to spread and crawl down the wall, engulfing this creature. And I'm going to cast Infestation.
Cast Infestation. What do I need to do for that?
You need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Constitution saving throw. This creature only has a +1 to Constitution. What does it need to beat?
14.
14, so it has to roll a 13 or higher on this d20 roll. It did roll a 16. 16 plus 1 is going to bring it to 17 total.
Rough.
Damn.
Cantrip.
Rip.
Hmm.
That sucks.
Is infestation a cantrip?
Yes.
It is, yeah.
I always forget about that spell. Yeah, these cockroaches go over it. Strangely, like, this creature just doesn't seem affected by them, and in fact, you watch as its strange mandibles like gobble up several of them as they crawl over it.
Eh. Okay.
Anything else on your turn, Mel?
Um.
You did get a short rest, so anything that would return
Yeah.
to you.
I'm a druid.
You get wild shapes back on short rest.
Do you get wild shapes back?
That's why I kept saying.
But wild shape in action.
That's wild shape is an action.
It's
that
the
is true.
stupidest fucking thing that wild shape is in action because you only get 2 of them for almost the entire time that you're a fucking druid, and it's an action.
I mean, all wild shapes are action.
Yeah, but that's fucking stupid.
That's why moon druids are OP.
That's why moon druids are special.
Stupid.
That is why they're special.
Anyway, yeah, that's all I can do.
Okay. At the end of Mill's turn, Anshu. It's your go, little buddy.
I think Anshu will. He's flanking, right?
No, because Alexander slid under the thing's legs and is actually now between you and the creature. But since you're no longer directly in the creature's like range, you could actually run around it and get in the back and get flanking on it.
No. I will do that.
Yeah.
Anshu will just like scamper behind him
Yeah.
and come up behind. What does flanking give me?
Advantage on your
Advantage?
attack roll, so you don't have to
Okay.
take a reckless attack.
Okay. Okay, let's hope it's. Damn. I think the highest is an 11.
Unfortunately, an 11 does not hit. You swing with your sword onto, and it hits a portion of this thing's body that's hard like a carapace, and just kind of slides off. Your blade, not as sharp as you would perhaps like it to be, just doesn't quite do what you want it to do this time.
And I think that's it. Anshu will just like bang the ground and like grunt and hum and get mad.
For sure. Alrighty. Next, at the very end of the initiative, is Pfeifferon. Pfeifferon is going to find where he put his character sheet. Pfeifferon is going to pull out his maul, and he is going to let me see here. Yeah, Pfeifferon's going to pull out his maul, and he's going to, being a big, strong boy, wield it with one hand as if it was a warhammer, and he's going to just like flex his good arm, and the head of the warhammer is going to erupt in flame, and he's just going to swing it at this thing's head as he casts Searing Smite.
Okay, Pfeifferon.
Pfeifferon's no good, very bad day. Pfeifferon rolled a total of a... Oh, he is a big, strong boy! Pfeifferon rolled a 14, which just hits.
Oh, man.
He rolled a natural 2.
Nice.
He's a big, strong boy. Okay, so that is going to do 2d6 plus 1d6 from Searing Smite. So that's going to be 7, 15, 5 points of fire damage, and the creature catches on fire Or no, it has to make a cons. Oh no, it just does catch on fire. So he smashes this creature, dealing a lot of damage to it. It does 20 points of damage, and the creature is now on fire and is not happy. It makes this terrible shriek that echoes throughout the cavern here, and yeah, it's not looking great. At the end of the round, Ervin, go ahead and roll for me initiative. What'd you get there, bud?
Oh, sorry, I was muted. 7 plus a d4, which is me 2, which is a 9.
9. I believe that ties you with Anshu. I think Anshu also had a 9. Which one of you has the higher dexterity mod?
I have a +3.
I only have a +1.
Okay, so you're going to be after Anshu in this initiative. I don't know what Silvery's +2 initiative is, but I'm not sure we'll get to Silvery's turn anyway. At the top of the initiative, it is Alexander's go. You have currently, you are currently grappled. You are being choked, but
I do have to ask because of
Yeah.
the particular topography of my throat. Did it happen? Does it happen to be choking me above that little whistle hole I got, or
let me.
that's up to you, Kyle?
Truly, I love to roll the dice. So I'm going to roll a d4, and if it's a 1 or a 3, it's above, and if it's a 2 or a 4, it's below.
Okay, fair enough.
That's a 4.
Damn. Okay, so I am being choked by this thing.
You are, but you are only grappled. You are not restrained, so you can still take actions as normal. You don't have disadvantage on attack rolls.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna try to stab it. I think I just flip the short sword around in my hand and I drive it back.
Yeah, go ahead and roll to hit with advantage because Anshu is behind it, the creature.
That is remarkable. A 5 and a 5 for an 11.
That is rough, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just again like you stab backwards and it just clinks off of the it's almost leathery, which is strange for a spider-like creature, but it is still a carapace, and the tip of your sword just clinks right off to the side.
Fuck. I mean, yeah. Yeah, that's what I got, man.
Okay.
That's what I got.
At the end of your turn, the creature is going to bite you once again. Ooh, but it fails miserably with a natural 1 and a natural 2 on the advantage roll. It attempts to bite into you, but you are able to bring your hands up to your neck and force it up so that as the creature bites, its mandibles can't actually get around you and pierce this time. And that is all the creature can do. It is surrounded and it is fighting for its life. And that's going to bring us to Mill's go.
I can only do one thing on my turn. And that's frustrating, which is fine. But I'm going to use my my spores.
Mm-hmm.
My symbiotic entity
Mm-hmm.
to prepare to do something for later.
Okay.
So As Mill grips his staff, his pupils will expand till they cover the total amount of his eye. And from the top of his staff comes a puff of spores that surround him, and they begin to encapsulate the space. The narrow hallway.
Alrighty. You're gonna get 12 temp HP. And I believe
I get a D6 for spores damage of necrotic damage, and I also roll double damage dice.
You do. And I will also say, just don't forget that your halo of spores, your attack that gives you a D6 on, is a reaction attack that you can use when a creature starts its turn within 10 feet of you.
Is it starting is it with it? I thought that I was further away from it then.
Or moves into it. Too.
Yeah, or moves into it. So you can position yourself in such a way to get within that range, so that you can. I mean, you could even have done that last turn. So just don't forget about your halo of spores, because that's a cool feature that you do get, and it's one of your best ways of doing damage outside of your turn. Okay.
Yeah, I will actually use my bonus action to take a hidden step
Yeah.
and get behind the
invisible.
creature.
Yeah, you can do that. It's only Anshu back there, and he's not very big, and you're
No,
very big.
He's a little guy.
Yeah. You go ahead and step over in that direction. At the end of Mill's turn, it's Anshu's go again. Anshu, you still have advantage on your attacks. Or your attack, I should say.
Please be a better one. Please be a better one. 2 4s.
Rough.
That's
Dude.
8. That's 2 8s, man. Oh my god.
2 8s. Yeah, no, 2 8s is just not going to hit. This creature, despite taking some hits early on, is surprisingly resilient, and you're just starting to realize that maybe you guys just got lucky on those first couple of hits and just hitting the soft parts. But yeah, that just doesn't go through.
Huh.
I don't need your sass, Geo.
This is tough.
Yeah.
That's it for me.
Okay. At the end of Anshu's go, it is in fact Ervin's turn.
I'm just Erin kind of slowly stands up, and she kind of just raises her hand, and the spider feels like a heavy force trying to push it down. And I'm gonna use telekinetic force. It has to make a strength saving throw. DC 14.
Strength saving throw. DC 14. It gets a 16. 14. It got a natural 14 on the die.
Wait, how do I roll this? Use. Okay, so it does not do anything.
Okay.
Resist it. I'll use my bonus action to just enhance insurance myself.
You got it. And if you all look at the general chat, you will see a picture of the creature you are fighting.
Oh.
Oh no!
Terrible and disgusting.
Oh, that's
This is not
horrid.
what I thought this was.
You
That's
said
horrid.
it was a spider.
I said it was a spider-like Spider-like. I
Spider-
did
it
only
had a
describe.
spider face.
I did only describe it as having 4 limbs. Uh,
That's the worst
Facts.
thing.
But at the end of Ervin's turn, Silvery would get a turn, but I don't have Silvery's character sheet. Silvery is going to kind of position herself in such a way that she can protect Ervin if she needs to. That's going to be Silvery's go. Pfeifferon is going to just swing out again with his maul. Try to get an attack in. Oh, Pfeifferon, my boy, what happened to you? Yeah, Nat 1, he isn't going to get a good plus from. This creature truly has a 13 AC. Just an unlucky combat so far. Pfeifferon whiffs with his maul. That's the end of the round. That's going to bring us back to Alexander.
Alexander is just gonna bring his blade back out and try to drive it back.
Yeah.
And again, we're simply going to. Okay. That's really great. I rolled a 1 and a 17.
Ooh, love that.
So we love finally hitting the creature.
Yeah.
With a 23, and
Go ahead and roll that damage, baby.
max damage, 12 points of damage.
With 12 points of damage being the exact amount of HP it had left, Alexander, how do you want to do this?
Alexander
As this
just
is garroting you from behind with webbing.
misses the first one and just really calmly, like his face isn't even turning red really yet.
Yeah.
Just really calmly reaches his hand back out and just grips it a little tighter and drives it straight back into this thing's heart.
Yeah. And your sword pierces finally through the carapace and into the fleshy mass of its body, and you hear as it just begins to lose its grip around your neck, and you find yourself able to breathe again. You step forward and away from it as it reaches you, pulling your sword free as it looks around at everything around it, weirdly locks eyes with Silvery and reaches out towards her before falling to the ground very dead, and bleeding this dark purple blood over the space here. And we're out of combat. Whoops. Oops.
Perhaps
Yeah.
we should set up a watch.
Gio, did you say something?
Do we recognize this creature?
I would
Do I
allow,
recognize this creature?
if you wish, you could make a nature check.
Nature. Ooh, that's a 23.
A 23 is really good. Ervin, you do know what this creature is now that everything is settling down and you're looking at it. You kind of walk over and you see the spider-like face. The body twitches and the mandibles click together again, but it is just a death throw, the last remnants of nerve activity within this creature. Ervin, you have, with a roll of a 23, you have seen these creatures before, but only from afar, while exploring under the mountains that you call home. You never explored super deep, but you have seen these beings that are known by your people as spider shepherds, but a more common name for them is ettercap. They are there are kind of mixed stories about where ettercaps first came from. Some people believe that a cabal of druids that got too far like into kind of a spider like cult type mentality, it became the first ettercaps. Again, with a roll of a 23, Erwin, I would say you know that they are not usually very intelligent, but they keep small spiders like bees, and they keep large spiders as guard dogs. And they usually live in small communities underground. And the last thing you know with a roll of a 23 is no one knows why ettercaps vehemently despise Fae. They will use their webs to choke the life out of a dryad or an eladrin's tree. They eat fairies as a delicacy. They are just they hate the Fae. And because no one can really talk their language, no one really knows why.
What's the ettercap doing here?
You know what they are.
Yeah, they're they're not really from around here. Must be more of them, but
Well, I'm not exactly in the mood to see any more of them. I will take the first watch.
where'd you find it?
I point down the one that descends,
Mm-hmm.
and then I point down at Wretch.
And Wretch is
Trying to
yeah.
eat.
Wretch is kind of still shivering and is hiding behind Pfeifferon's legs right now.
Oh, is Rich a little fairy? Thought he was a dragon. Wait, no, wait. What did you describe?
Oh god, what the fuck? What is
Anyway, anyway, moving on
What
from
the
that.
Cursed.
Very cursed.
that is cursed?
It's accurate, but it's cursed. Anyway,
Sorry. What does Rich look like? You said he. What did you say he was?
Wretch is
like
a Drake.
Drake. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, I thought it was a dragon or a drake.
She is.
Well,
She is.
don't know why the Ettercup's trying to eat it. They really like fays and fairies.
When
They
you're
usually
hungry,
don't
you'll
come
eat just
around.
about anything.
And
As long as you can get your hands on it.
Thinking about it, Alexander, you might assume that Wretch, in doing her diligence of keeping watch, might have just gotten too close to that doorway, and the creature saw its moment and just grabbed and went, not wanting to get involved with a fight against all of you. Or maybe it didn't even really know the rest of you were there. It just saw a little thing and decided
Suppose.
to take it.
Hungry.
You like free food?
Pfeifferon, kind of steps aside and allows Wretch to crawl back over and kind of wrap around your legs, Alexander. Just still kind of shivering and frightened of what's going on. And Pfeifferon just leans back against the wall, prop with his maul, and just slides down and says, "All right, I need like 5 more hours, so maybe wake me up in a little bit and I can take a watch too." And he's going to return to sleep. Silvery as well. Just leans back up where she was at, keeping a wary eye on the dead creature, and then looking towards the door or the tunnels out of this room. What are the rest of you doing?
Well, Mill kindly volunteered first watch, so I'm gonna go to sleep.
I will take
Okay.
first one.
Yeah.
Sleep.
Seeing other people go to sleep, Ancho will follow suit because he does not speak common.
Got it. Yeah, Anshu, you come out of your rage, looking around. I will say, Anshu, as you go to just go back to sleep, you're feeling pretty good. And you're like, you definitely still need some sleep, but like something about your in your mind just feels clearer right now. And you take your little naked self and find
He'll
yourself.
just stretch out spread eagle on a moss pad.
Yeah. You spread out and go to sleep. Mill, being the one staying up, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and make for me a perception check. I'm going to let it be a straight, even though there is, like, the thaumaturgy on the fire dims and it is still stuff, but you don't have dark vision. So
Right.
I am going to let it be a straight roll just because the mushrooms are enough to light the general vicinity. What did you roll?
It was a natural 20.
I mean, you don't, over the course of an hour, you don't see anything, you don't hear anything. It takes a while for Wretch to feel safe enough to go to sleep, huddled next to Alexander, so you hear her whimpering a few times. But eventually you hear everybody's soft snores in this space as you are keeping an eye on things. At one point, with a roll of a natural 20, Mill, you're kind of sitting there looking around and you don't see anything in the room, but out of the corner of your eye, you're pretty certain that you catch sight of something on your staff. And you turn your head towards it, and like, it's so fast, but you swear you see a strange eye staring at you from the staff, and as you turn to it, the eye shuts, leaving no trace on the staff. Otherwise, your watch goes by unabated.
Mimic staff, bottom text.
You will only need 2 watches, so Mill, Pfeifferon volunteered, so you can wake him up, and he will keep watch until the time for everybody to get woken up. Because you guys got like a good 5 hours before that all happened. So Pfeifferon's going to roll. Pfeifferon is not the most perceptive boy. Yeah. That's okay. Eventually, all of you, Alexander, you being the first one, you feel just a light, like small, not a kick, but just a nudge from a hoof as Pfeifferon kind of nudges you awake and says, "All right, it's probably time we get some food in us and make a plan." And he goes around and starts to wake up everybody. You can take a long rest.
Whoopee.
As Pfeifferon kind of gets some tinder out from his own satchel and tries to beef up the smoldering remnants of the fire a little bit just to, give some light and warmth in here. But all of you come to consciousness. The dead creature is still over by one of the ways out of this room. But all of you have achieved a long rest. What are you guys doing?
Heading forward.
Suppose. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I Alexander will, like, as we're like breaking, like getting up and getting ready, will offer little rations to folks. As he pulls some out for himself.
Yeah. And the rations are kind of divvied up for people. Pfeifferon takes out of his bag a flask filled with some sort of alcohol and just passes it around as well for anybody that would like to take a swig from it. Anshu, you take a big swig out of it. Go ahead and roll a con save for me.
Okay. That's a 10.
A 10. Anshu, you know alcohol. You've had alcohol. Probably nothing quite as impressive as this. This actually tastes good and doesn't just burn. But you're a little guy, and a little bit of alcohol goes a long way, and you take a big old swig, kind of expecting to get really tipsy at the beginning of the day, and nothing happens. You feel pretty good. And you take another big swig. Yeah. This is alcohol, but it's not getting you drunk. Pfeifferon takes the thing back from you, and he's like, "You certainly got a healthy thirst on you, little guy, don't you?" It's a good thing this is unending. And he takes a big long swig from it himself.
Oh, she's just like,
for the purposes of the game, because I don't think it will ever come up because you guys are going to be underground for a while. Anshu, on your wild magic search, you are immune to the effects of alcohol for 13 days.
oh, sober Anshu.
Which is hilarious.
That is pretty hilarious.
All right. So you guys obviously aren't heading back the way you came. There are two ways out of this room. One is at the same level that you all are traveling, and the other descends downward, and that is the one that Alexander followed the creature down. Aside from one of them being level with you and the other one descending a bit, there's really not that much difference in terms of like the structure. It still seems to be pretty natural tunnels. But yeah, that's the situation ahead of you.
Dark.
Dark.
It is dark.
Gosh.
I will pull out a torch
Okay.
and light it up.
Light it up. And you do.
glittering gold.
Drinks. Alexander kind of points to the one that's level with us that doesn't descend and kind of looks back and shrugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, it's better to cover all of our bases than to just go headlong into things.
Alrighty. You guys begin once again to trudge through these dark tunnels. We're going to take a little break.
Okay.
Get some weed, get some snacks, get some drinks. Pause the recording for now,
Will do.
and we will return.
Yeah.
On God, we are ready to go.
I'm ready to
All right.
continue.
Is
Cheers.
the recording back and ready to go?
Yes, that is why I said that.
Bueno. All right. As our group of folks here continue to trudge onward through these underground tunnels, lit only sporadically by just small phosphorescent mushrooms, as well as the light of Mill's torch. You walk for, I would say, about 30 minutes or so. Who is leading the group? Alexander?
Probably.
Me or the individual with the light, but light is probably centered on the group, all things considered.
Got it. Alexander, I'm going to have you just go ahead and make a perception check for me as you keep
Sure.
an eye out at the front of the group.
Is Wretch able to give me the help action?
I will say yes.
Cool.
Also, I spent my little break there reading over some stuff. Mill, symbiotic entity is a bonus action. I will allow you to activate your spores as a bonus action.
Oh god.
Thank you.
Oh god. 25.
Oh God.
25?
25.
You guys head out or continue walking for about like I say 20-30 minutes, and ahead, Alexander, you can see where this tunnel opens up and will not be nearly as cramped anymore, but it opens. You see like dim light ahead of you, like yeah, this you can tell with that perception check that this tunnel is about to open up and not be a tunnel. It's going to be a large chasm underground, basically.
And you said, but it was like dimly lit out there?
You can see some sort of dim light up ahead of you.
We should snuff the light and lay low.
I
Snuff the
will.
light.
Yeah, I will toss the torch to the ground and snuff it out. With my big cloven feet.
As you guys continue towards this opening, I'd like everybody to make, for me, we're going to do a group stealth check.
Ooh. Good thing he's little, guys.
Ooh, stealth.
That's a 9.
It's a 9.
I got a 5.
5 from Anshu.
Please don't wear any clothes.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Okay, 1 second.
Have you guys heard that dropping pipe soundbite?
Yeah, I'm familiar.
That's what it sounds like when Anju drops his sword in the tunnel.
15.
Ding, 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 ding,
15.
15.
He's just like,
So with a dirty 20, a 15, Ervin also got, I believe, a 15. But then the failures of Mill, Onchu, and Pfeifferon, who rolled a natural 3, continuing to have a no good, very bad day. You guys kind of break even on successes and failures. Anshu, who is kind of just following everybody, not really understanding the need for silent. You just kind of walk forward, letting your sword just drag on the ground, and it just scraping on the rocks, clink, 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 clink. Before somebody like reaches out and like tries to get you to understand, no, don't do that. But you guys break even, and you head up towards the opening up here, and peering out, carrying over your perception check from before, Alexander, I will say this: the pathway seems to continue along a rock face, but it opens up into a wide, expansive cavern, lit by more of these glowing mushrooms, but looking out almost 200, 300 feet out and away from you, you see a massive stalagmite. I think those are the ones that come from the ceiling. Coming down. Yes, Jacob. Was I correct, or was I
Tights
wrong?
go down.
Tights go down. So yeah, stalactite coming down from the ceiling, and massive glowing mushrooms growing out of it, that are just giving this sort of dim, greenish and bluish light over this entire space. And what you see, Alexander, down below you is a village. You see like simple huts made of all sorts of material, from stone to wood to even some what look like just like fungus that has been grown into the shape of homes. And you see not a lot of people moving about in this village, because you see a stockade, a fenced in area towards the center. Walking around it are more of these ettercaps. You think you see maybe half a dozen, and along with them, giant wolf spider like creatures that are scuttling around quickly, keeping watch. Within this fenced in area, you do see some individuals moving, but it's strange. From where you're at, they kind of are all of different shapes and different forms. But you're looking down, and yes, you're fairly certain there are mushrooms that are ambulatory. Some are large, some are small, but they're all fenced in here together, and some of them are going up to the fences and trying to push them aside. You see some of the larger ones are gathering up the small ones and just sort of keeping them in one space. But it looks like this is their village. And it looks like the Ettercaps have come in and are keeping them captive here.
I will do my best to relay that to people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do, and you kind of relay that to everybody. Pfeifferon nods. He says, "Shit. Well,
they usually around this place?
Hmm?
Are they usually around this place?
Pfeifferon shrugs and says, I've never been down here, kid. I don't know. I really don't know. Oh, I will say also, just to with the perception check that you made, Alexander, you see that the pathway that you guys will be on continues along this rocky face, but eventually will lead down into this village. And it will be kind of you'll have to find another way out of this cavernous portion down here.
We'll have to head down there. Can anyone see an exit from up here?
Negative. I cannot see in the dark.
Well,
Can I see? How much dark vision?
I have 60 feet of dark vision. Can I see
Yeah, I
any
got
exit?
60 feet.
Unfortunately, it's not really gonna do it. You can see the things that are lit by the mushrooms. I would say it is considered dim light throughout this cavern. But honestly, from where you all are at, either there's an exit on the other side of this village just out of sight, or this is a dead end. But you can't be certain because you can't quite see to the other side of the village. Pretty big space down here.
Anshu will say in Gnomish, "Go back." Question?
Do we think it's worth getting involved in that?
How dangerous
No.
is a pack of adder caps?
How
According
many
to
is?
what I've
How many
read.
was the pack? How many
Just
were
took
there?
us like
Um,
4
from-
rounds to kill one.
Yeah, from what you can see right now, Alexander, you see 6 Eder caps and probably
Uh-uh.
6 giant wolf spiders down below that are kind of patrolling the area.
That's a no good. I
That's,
think it's too dangerous.
Pfeifferon kind of leans in and says in a husky whisper, but Alex, you said that you followed that one that we killed down the other path. What's to say that path doesn't just lead here but lower?
Hmm.
I mean, maybe we'd have a better chance of an element of surprise that way, but
We
How
didn't
tightly
exactly
are they?
succeed against the other one, so I don't think fighting 6 of them would be a very smart idea.
well, we had a hard time against one when we all hadn't had a sleep and were exhausted. Oh, I'm sorry, what did Erevan say? I missed that.
How tightly are they packed?
They're not super tightly packed. So the kind of fenced in area at the center of the village is probably a good 100 or so feet in diameter. It's like they've kind of blocked off in between like this central location in the village, and the ettercaps and their spiders are patrolling kind of randomly just around the fence, but also a couple of them are just like kind of off within the village, so they're not super tightly packed. But if one of them were to screech like the one did while you were fighting it, it would probably alert the rest of them.
Shit, I forgot what I was about to say.
Could we try sneaking around them? Making a diversion.
Alexander's basically taken on one by himself. That was mostly you, no? You and your... And... Weren't you?
I don't want to waste energy. If we can help it.
Silvery kind of is half paying attention to the conversation, but her eyes are locked firmly on the creatures that are within the fence. And just says, Are you sure that there isn't a way that we can sneak ourselves through here and ensure that those, I want to say people down there, might also take back their home? You say you want a distraction, Mill. That could be a distraction.
I can turn invisible and go weaken the fence around them.
You do have to remember you're only invisible for 6 seconds
6 seconds?
as a Fearbolg. It's not the invisibility spell, it's just a quick 1 round invisibility.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Really useful for getting out of a space without getting an opportunity attacked, though.
Right. Okay. Heck, never mind. Ignore that. I didn't say that. I could make a fog cloud around it and move it as I go around. And it's an idea. Or I could just break the fence.
Don't leave it apart yet.
Yeah,
We're all just like, JPEG.
What can you do?
Out of character, I think the fog cloud idea is good.
Yeah, no, I think the fog cloud idea is pretty good.
Fog cloud is golden.
Why don't we see if Pfeifferon is right? Use your fog for cover.
Take them out one by one.
If we can.
I could do that. And I will make a cloud
Okay.
around the group. It's 120 feet.
Yes, it is. As you bring forth
Ooh,
what is
can I-
essentially a cloud of spores.
Yeah. So as Mill like pulls towards the mushrooms that are glowing on the walls and begins to almost pull the spores out of it and spin it around the group, starting from their feet and going up, and a gaseous white cloud emerges from it. Try not to breathe it in for too long.
Great.
Alexander wraps his scarf.
It's kind of hard to see
cinches it.
around it.
Okay.
Trust your ears.
Pfeifferon just kind
Where
of
are you?
shrugs and he wraps a little bit of cloth up around his face as well and says, well, shit. And Silvery nods and starts to follow as well. This is going to be an interesting and fun little excursion that's going to be kind of a big encounter. And the first big encounter, you guys are going to get a chance to have all of your shit and be fighting stuff that you have a chance to fight. So I think we're going to wait for Blake for that.
Is
So that way we have everybody. But yeah, you guys will when we next return, you guys will be descending down into this kind of open cavern with a fog cloud hiding your descent. And to go and see if you can possibly help these myconids that are or that have been captured by these terrible little spider monstrosities.